Hello. Today I've been finishing up the editing process of my next song, Sheeshkebab, and the reason why I did this is because Corin Townsend, a first year confetti student, is contributing to her backing vocals, which she has been recording on Logic Pro. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So right here I have my finished version of Sheeshkebab, which has all the synths on here, minus the I-95 bass meter that has the Stinger bass. So all of them are color coordinated in purple, including the synthesizers and the piano, while the I-95 bass meter has the red color. The drums, on the other hand, have a lime green colour, whilst the drum machine only has a blue colour. As for my vocal parts, they are in pink, as well as the newly added backing vocals, which are in mint green respectively. So I'm just going to show you a snippet of the vocals real quick. If I can narrow the length down a bit. I'm just going to have to turn the song off. This one is in solo mode. So yeah, that is the backing vocals for this track, and here's the rundown of the backing vocals and its plugins. So according to the music production, I have been adding some classic vocals into it on the backing vocal track stack, which has the classic vocals settings. You got your de-esser2, the channel EQ, the compressor, and the pedal board. So here's the lowdown of it. As you can see, the frequency is at 4,307 Hertz. The max reduction is at 8.4 dB, and the threshold is minus 7.8 dB. This is due to the fact that I want to avoid creating a filter hiss in the audio feedback. So that's that. And there's also a channel EQ that is very different to one another. You got your high pass, the orange one, which is the high shelf filter, the green one, which is the parametric filter, and here you have your low shelf filter. The gain is turned down to minus 2.2 dB because that will remove the frequencies entirely. So that's it. And another thing I want to show you is the compressor of it as well. According to the compressor of the backing vocal track stack, I have been increasing the threshold, going to minus 3.5 dB. The ratio slightly turns to 2.3:1. The makeup is 5.0 dB, 1.0 for knee. The attack is nowhere in this backing vocal track stack. And finally, the release in the 51.0 ms, or Mass Sinistra technically. And as for the pedal board, I have been messing about with the spring box because it will bring much compression into the backing vocal stack. So I've got the spring box right here. And as you can see, everything is just mixed from the time, tone, style, and mix. Now, let's look at the vocals individually and see how it handles it perfectly. So right here, I have my dance vocals, which is at DS2, channel EQ, compressor, exciter, and pedal board. Notice how they look different to each other. Now, in the gain side of things, you have plus 1.2 dB. This is because I want to add all the frequencies entirely. And probably it's the red high-pass filter and the parametric filter thing as well. Actually, there are two parametric filters because the yellow one is just slightly up. And another thing about the Desta 2 is that I have been decreasing the frequency to 4,332 Hz. The max production is at 7.3 dB and the threshold is 12.6 dB. And as for the compressor itself, it's all turned down as well. The threshold, I mean. The rest of them are just increased for the sake of it. And for the input gain, it works well because it has a substitute for the auto gain, which will overpower my vocals, and it will not match well with the lead vocals, causing it to overpower itself. Plus, you can't really hear the lead vocals that are in the music production if the auto gain gets turned on. So, yeah, that's that. And there's also the exciter, which goes to frequency 820 Hz, and the harmonics at 52.0%. And finally, we come on to the pedal board, which has the Heavenly Chorus bit. The Heavenly Chorus has the reverberation of it, meaning that the rates, depth, feedback, density, it all comes down to its bright setting, which I really like. In future, I could have been adding some other plugins that will stand out, but in other words, it's a pretty good vocal part, and I've been sharing and I've been editing around with it a lot, so it doesn't matter. Now we get on to my vocals, which is the higher range of it. In the red high pass filter, you can see that it's going up a bit. The parametric filter is also down, and the yellow parametric filter is slightly up, whereas the orange low shelf filter is going slightly up a bit from 0.5 on the parametric filter. The 1.2 dB gain is also used for adding frequencies to it as well. And as you can see, it has the same thing with the vocals that Cora Townsend have recorded and I have edited. So it's just the same with the dance vocal setting, except that it has a bit of reverberation into it. Has the same plugin, and it has the same thing with it, and it has the same plugins, and it doesn't differentiate from the other instruments and vocals that I have been recording. So you kind of get the gist of it. Now let's listen back to. Now here's a snippet of the song just without the music. And now I'm going to have to turn the solo off, which will bring back the instruments and the vocals that came with it. So here we go. So that's the entire song, Sheeshkebab. I've worked on it for about a week, so I have give or take 1 or 2 weeks of the song's production. So yeah, that's basically it for this video. Make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you like and subscribe to DJ Dini Music for more music content.